Welcome to my YouTube channel DIY with Mini John. I am Nishant and this is my basement workshop. Today I'll show you how to modify one of these cheap belt and disc sanders. They come out of the box with the belt already attached in place, and this shaft here is for attaching the disc. And it comes with a user manual, a plastic miter gauge stick, and these are cover for the disc part, and there is a dust collection port that goes down here. But as you can see, this is already off center, so I can't fix this on over here, because if I do, the disc will tend to rub against the plastic. And other than this, we have a aluminium base that is for attaching with the disc that goes over here and fits like this. And it comes with a wrench and a few bolts. Now as for the machine, you can see that it is unstable because this base right here, when the motor was tightened onto this base, the base actually got warped because of the tension between the bolts. Fix the motor properly so that this machine does not vibrate. They have a sticker right over here and one over here saying that it's made by some XYZ brand, but all these machines are actually made in China and they're most likely made by the same manufacturer. If not, then they are made using similar cheap techniques with sheet metal for most of the part. Only this portion right here is cast iron, everything else is sheet metal. This is a very lightweight machine if not for the cast iron and the motor part. So what happens is when you run this machine, the front part does not have any weight on it, so we are going to make a bigger base for this using plywood that anyone with basic woodworking tools can make in a weekend. We'll find a lot of videos that lists what's wrong with this machine, and there are really lots of issues with this machine. So I'm not going to go into all of those, but rather I'll try to give you a solution as to how you can improve this machine if you have already purchased it, or if you are planning to buy a cheap sander and you are on a budget and trying to get the most out of it. So we'll get to work. So we will start with disassembling the basic parts of this machine. First we will remove this belt cover so that it's not in the way. Okay, and I have already loosened the bolts for the motor. So I just removed the switch assembly. Make sure that the machine is unplugged when you are doing any work with the electricals of the machine, or even when you are replacing any parts, physical parts. Make sure that it is unplugged so that you don't accidentally turn it on and injure yourself. So as you can see, the connections over here, and there are some bolts. Just turn this. Now if you are going to remove this and if you have problem remembering which wire went on where, so what you can do is after opening this, you can just take a nice photo of the whole assembly so that later when you are fixing it back, you know which wire goes where. Now that we have disconnected all the wires, we'll just flip it around and remove the motor. Carefully we will flip it down and we will remove this. Okay, so you can see now this is the cast iron part that has all the weight of the machine, and the rest of the weight is in motor. Now this machine, we are not going to do anything to this part, so I'll just keep it aside and we will remove these rubber feet. Now this is a waste piece of 18 mm waterproof plywood that is, it's really heavy. So this is what I'm going to use for creating our new base. 24 inches by 15 inches, and that is more than sufficient for fixing all the accessories that we intend to fix on the new base for this sander. And the best way to do that is to trace them onto the new base. And make sure, if you are doing this, that these elongated holes, if you come across some of these, then you should make sure to make the elongated hole, because this portion will fix the motor and you'll have to adjust it a little back and forth to get the perfect tension on the belt. This is base plate for our new base. This 18 mm ply will go on the bottom, and then we have these side pieces that will provide us with vertical support, and in between we will put some more supports so that the top of this new base will not sag down. Now off camera I'll just glue all these in place and we will keep it overnight to dry. After clamping overnight, our base is now rock solid. These ribs will give it extra support and prevent warping in future. And this is the top plate. These 4 holes are for mounting the sander body, and the 4 elongated holes are for mounting the motor. Now this will fit this on top of this using few screws. And now when we compare this to the original base plate, you can see how much weight we have added to this whole assembly. After finishing with the plywood box, I added some laminate on all sides and also on the top panel, and I made sure that the holes are through the laminate. And I added cement inside this, cement and gravel mix, to increase the weight, because in my workshop it's going to be put in a place and it's going to stay there. This cutout is for the switch, and there's a drill on this back panel to insert the wire. And I have routed out some grooves on this vertical supports to let the wire through. This part of the wire, it will come up. I'll drill a hole in the top panel. The cast iron part will be mounted over here. I have to attach it with 6 mm bolts from underneath. Motor will get fixed over here. I'll just go ahead and start attaching those. You have to tension it properly so that the motor and everything runs smoothly. And the best way to do that is to get a clamp like this and then turn it into a spreader. Instead of a clamp that compresses things together, it actually spreads them apart. So if we take this part of the clamp and we put it over here, we get a spreader. So this is how a spreader functions. I have attached this jaw onto this end, and now when I clamp it, it will actually pull things apart instead of compressing them together. So we'll take this clamp, put it between the pulleys, and this is now perfect. Now this is ideal tension between belts, so you should be able to slightly squeeze the belt together, but both the surfaces of the belt should not touch in middle. We will fix the belt cover. And now to fix the sanding disc, there's an Allen bolt on the back side of this aluminium disc. And we have to align that with the slot cut on this shaft. Now that everything is in place, we'll do a quick test run of the machine. You can see how nicely it rounded off the corners of the teak wood in just a few seconds. Now this chamfering was done on the sanding belt. And I also sanded this surface. Right now the belt is a coarse one, so it's not giving a very nice smooth finish. Thanks for watching everyone. I hope you liked the video and you are going to try some of these modifications on your own machine. If you liked the video, then please give a thumbs up and subscribe on my channel. I'll use this machine for a few weeks, and if there are any further changes, then I'll make another video on that and update you guys. Thanks for watching.